Welcome to Centro, Houston's best real estate investment opportunity that I've seen in a long time. We can't wait to show it to you.
I'm Amber Moore.
And I'm Bret Wallace.
And we're
your Houston local guide.
Okay, so as Bret mentioned, we are at the community of Centro here, actually in Shenandoah. And some of you might be saying, well, where the heck is that? Well, if you know the Woodlands, you're gonna know pretty much where we are. It's this little pocket here right off of I-45. We're south of 242 just by a hair. But can we say we're in Montgomery County? You know, it's one of my favorite things to say. I love being in the north. So Bret's on my side of town today. And we wanted to bring you special access, I should say exclusive access to this project because not many people know about this.
Just opened up literally a couple weeks ago. So this, like I alluded to earlier, I get a lot of calls about, hey Bret, I want to invest in real estate in Houston. And I go, just not a good time. You know, if you're not doing an owner occupant, if you're not living here, rental properties, there's so much that goes into it, and the cost of like insurance, rates, I mean, the inflation, it's just been tough. But this, guys, this can deliver a positive cap rate right away, and with just a ton of great aspects about this property. You want to just start getting into it right now?
Yeah, I know your ears are perked up now, so just wait till you see what we have coming your way.
Let's go. So the developer behind Centro Modern Homes is Bridge Tower Group, a private equity company that has vast experience in real estate development, headquartered outside of Dallas, if I remember correctly. But they've put this project together, and it has just turned out immaculate. The approach now is more of an investor, kind of like an investment in a box, right? So Amber, how many calls do we get about people saying, hey, I want to invest money in Houston real estate? And I'm like, wow, guys, with insurance and HOA and, you know, interest rates up so high that it's not been the prime market for kind of investment approaches from people buying real estate. And now, I mean, this, in the last 5 or 6 years, I've not seen a better opportunity to invest in Texas, in the Houston real estate especially, than this project.
Agreed. This is pretty much a needle in a haystack, and one that I don't know if we could repeat anywhere soon. Although we've got wind there might be an upcoming project coming up in another part of town. But in terms of where this is positioned and the tax rate alone, let's start out, Bret, with a couple just of the main bullet points that make this so appealing.
Yes, so from an investment standpoint, and again, a few of these, there's roughly 100 units, single family, right? No shared walls.
That's important.
And we're literally less than a mile off of I-45. We're right at the tip of the Woodlands in Shenandoah. It's a Shenandoah zip code or address, but I mean, you're basically what, 2.5, 3 miles from Woodlands, like the Cynthia Woods Mitchell Pavilion?
It's unbelievable. Close to Market Street, Hughes Landing. We're just south of 242, so you have a Costco there. And if you have medical concerns or healthcare is important to you, there's a whole host of hospital systems minutes away. Not to mention, you don't even have to go to Market Street to go shopping. There is shopping. I mean, really, you don't even have to leave and go very far. Within 10 minutes, you have everything that you need. So you have Nordstrom Rack, Lowe's, all the things. Not to mention, Bret, the great restaurants, which we always talk about. There's a Papados. Literally, you could probably walk there from here.
Yeah, absolutely. We just might. But yes, so those things, again, those things are kind of in between the lines, right? That's not number crunching, which is mostly the investment model is going to be cap rate, right? So your net operating expenses divided by the actual value of your real estate portfolio, or in this case, what unit, right? So there's 3 different type of floor plans here. Very few of them are, there's basically like a work flex, kind of a next gen, where the bottom unit is basically a place of business, and then the second and third floor are going to be living quarters, right? So there's about 4 of those that are available now. That's not the bulk of that's not the bulk of what this project is. Then you will have a Bristol floor plan, which is a 3-bedroom, okay? And it has 2.5 baths, and it's about 1,619 square feet. And then the other one is the Fairfield, which is about 2,000 square feet, a little over, but has 4 bedrooms and 4 baths.
Now with that's a 3-story, right, Bret?
That is a 3-story. So the Bristol's going to be a 2-story. The Fairfield's going to be a 3-story. But let's get back to the high points about what makes this a good investment from a cap rate perspective. So when you're factoring in, hey, what does this property cost? You know, what's the sales price tag, right? That's one factor. Then you start getting into the minutia of, hey, how much does it cost to operate this rental property? So the biggest and most awesome thing I can say, and Amber, we do new construction all over Houston.
Yes, we do.
And you say the words new construction, and honestly, most of these properties are either 2022, 2023, or 2024. A couple just got finished in January of 24. So this is new or semi-new, but let's talk about that. 3.3, 3.4, 3.5 tax rate is what we see, what we normally see in new construction. The tax rate right now, and I'm going to give you the conservative number first, 1.79%.
Whoa.
No mud taxes. Okay. I'm actually looking at the listing. There's a current one listed, 317 North Centro. That one is actually, when you click on the tax records that are attached to har.com, it is showing 1.63%.
It's unheard of.
So best case, 1.63% tax rate, worst case, 1.79. Okay, imagine if it's a $350,000 property value.
That's kind of what they start at.
Correct. So if you had to add on another 1.5 to that, I mean, that's an extra $5,000, $5,200 a year right off the top of your monthly income, right, or your yearly income, $5,200, if you just had a 1.5 higher tax rate. Okay, then you have to look at the fact that these units, that these single-family homes were all built with this being a rental, a build-to-rent community, right? So they had modern materials, right? Modern aesthetics, smart home technology, high-end finishes. You have quartz counters. You have shaker-style cabinets. You have, if it's not waterproof, it's water-resistant flooring. So the only carpet we've seen so far is on the staircase. Everything else is very much geared towards, they want good performing materials. So maintenance, make ready, repairs before your next tenant comes in, right? So these units are going to be very maintenance friendly, at least for the next 5, 6, 7 years, which is a huge cost if you're an investor and you're a landlord. And also, you probably don't need to hire a property management company because the plumber, the AC people, the appliance repair people aren't coming out to your units all the time, which just decreases the amount of money you're making.
That's right. And what's really cool about this particular project, Bret, is they've already done most of the hard work for you. So we have a lot of times people coming in saying we want to invest in something, but then they have to go out and actually find a renter. In this case, I would say 90+% of this entire community already has rent coming in from current tenants.
Yes, the Bristol's pulling on average about $22.95 a month, the 3-bedroom, and the 4-bedroom is on average pulling about $24.95,
which is actually cheaper than apartments around here, and I know this to be a fact.
Yeah, exactly. And again, 90% of these are already pre-leased. So there's a few that are listed on the MLS and probably even dumping over to Zillow and all the affiliate, websites that carry listings. But there's a ton of I wouldn't say shadow inventory, but there's a lot more units available, probably to the tune of 70 or 75 investment in a box, already income producing. The day you close, your renter's in there. You will get grandfathered over the lease agreement or the estoppel certificate, however you want to refer to it as. You will be able to walk similar properties, and actually if you get one under contract, then you'll actually physically be able to inspect the actual unit that you're buying with the tenant already in there. So you'll be producing income from day one, and you don't have to list it with a real estate agent, like a greedy real estate agent like Amber. You don't have to spend 1 full month's rent trying to find a new tenant. I'm just kidding, Amber's not greedy at all.
I do it for free, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So you don't, and that's just to find your first tenant. Let's say they signed a 12-month lease agreement. 1/12 of your operational income from that year would go to real estate fees to the listing agent and the agent that is going to bring you a tenant that passes your screening.
Right. So let's talk about the other really big money saver, Bret, and I love the fact you did this exercise. So
this is crazy.
We've already done a video on our YouTube channel talking about the increased cost of home insurance. It is real, it is severe. So what we did is and by we I mean Bret again.
And by Bret, I mean Carlton Kahn with the Woodlands Financial
did an
Group.
exercise just on homeowners insurance, comparing it from here, which I'm gonna let you actually kind of share some hypothetical numbers. Not even hypothetical; these were actual quotes that you got.
Correct.
And then comparing it to a home with like a mile away that was built in the 80s.
Yes.
But
So
kind of similar
so
specs.
you and I know we both live in 30-year-old homes.
That's right.
You and I, and our insurance rates have been going up. Insurance companies down here.
Yeah.
A lot have exited just because of the Texas freeze was a big issue in 2021.
Right.
So they are now factoring in freezing temperature. The actuators are factoring in freezing temperatures as a risk down here, which had never been the case. They're also trying to make some back on the billions and billions of dollars of claims that were made during the Texas freeze when the grid went down and homes. Anyway, you guys all know about that. So anyway, and inflation as well on top of that. So insurance rates are something you have to factor in, and rental dwelling policies, which is what you would have to have as an investor here, not a homeowner's insurance
Correct.
policy. They're typically a little bit more. Okay, so I was like, what $350,000 home is closest nearby our project here on I-45 and College Park and right south of 242. I found a home that sold in December for $350,000 in the Woodlands, I believe near Cochran's Crossing. Okay. And it was built in 1984, and I think had a 10-year-old roof. Okay, so I asked our insurance agent, our insurance broker who can shop 30 or 40 different carriers, I said, hey, here's a property in Centro that was built in 2022, okay? Give me a rental dwelling policy on this one, and then also give me a rental dwelling policy on the home that was built in 1984. The insurance quote, now don't quote me, roughly.
Good comparison though.
So Centro was about 2,200 and change, roughly. And the home that was built in 1984, a typical 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single-family home with a yard, was about $4,800.
Wow. So this is more than half.
Yes,
basically.
it was about 55-60% cheaper to insure a rental property in this project than just a normal one-off single-family home in a neighborhood in the Woodlands, 2 miles from here.
That's crazy. Okay, so the other thing that's a huge selling point, not even number specific, but we know it's all about location, location, location. We already said what's around here. But if someone has kids in school, let me just tell you, this is another thing that, this is one of the most coveted places to send your kids to school. This is Conroe ISD, and specifically, elementary age school kids would go to Oak Ridge, Irons J High School, or Oak Ridge High School. This is all part of the Woodlands. So again, Woodlands has won accolade after accolade for their school ratings. So many people move in this general area to send their school age kids here. So this is significant.
And then also, there is a satellite campus for Sam Houston State University in the Woodlands. And then the real Sam Houston State University is in Huntsville. What do you think, 30, 40 minutes from here?
So, yeah, and there's a Lone Star campus near here. So for junior college kids, you have so many educational opportunities right here.
Yeah, and honestly, like if I was even an out-of-state buyer and my kid was going to Sam Houston State and they were wanting to work in this is a great, there are so many retail and so many places to work right here.
That's right.
And if you're going to school 2 days or 3 days out of the week, this would not be a bad option to buy the investment instead of paying for dorm or an apartment in Huntsville. So
really good point.
I didn't even think about that. But you started talking about schools, you got my mind spinning.
This is why we need to buy some ourselves, Bret. That's what I keep saying. And not to mention what I love is that there are some amenities here. So there is a dog park, and you even have a pool, which isn't really expected. And also we get a lot of questions about, hey, is the community gated or not? And we can confirm it is. So while they're opening, this up to lease or to purchase kind of scenarios, it's going to be open during the day, but they close it at night. Once everything's kind of said and done here, the gates will be closed 24/7. You can only get in or out with I think they're going to have it programmable to your Easy Tag in your car is what they were saying. So it's going to be really convenient in and out. So the HOA fees, we understand, start at $2,100.
For the 3 and the 4 bedroom.
Correct.
And then it's $2,400 if you're running a business or if you get the Flex Gen, which there's only, I think, 4 or 5 of those. That's not going to be the main focus. I guess they figured that you're going to be bringing in more traffic and there's more operational stuff going on, I guess, with some of the business units.
Right, but let's even take the 2,100. So we're like, okay, so what do you get for that? Because that's going to be your next question, obviously. So obviously, a gated community always is a little bit more expensive because you actually have to pay to maintain the gates. You do have the pool that they maintain, again, the dog park, all the community areas. But what I love is that they said they cover all landscaping, not just the front, back. So
yeah, grass,
full
plants,
exterior
bushes,
landscaping.
anything green, or right now it's dormant, but anything exterior, whether it's plants, whether it's trees, anything, all exterior.
If you are a landlord or even a tenant would have to factor in kind of a, yard monthly fee, well, they don't have to do that. You could just, roll that over into the rent, and then you already know that your investment is being well taken care of, and it's always going to look good. Because the worst thing is when you go by your property, right, and this person hasn't mowed the lawn, or and that reflects poorly on you. You're going to get the HOA violation. Well, not here. Everything looks very pristine and well manicured.
So right now there is positive cap rates from what I'm hearing. Manesh has partnered with us on this, and I'm kind of hearing a cap rate that investors are not used to hearing right now is attainable here. So between the insurance, huge, right? Tax rate is insane.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to be in this location at a 1.79 or a 1.63 tax rate on new or semi-new construction. I've never seen that anywhere in town. And then the asset appreciation is definitely there. This is a very beautiful, modern community in the most awesome location imaginable. That's why I'm saying if anybody calls me, I'm steering them to this project and this development and this location. I don't see numbers like this.
Yeah, it's a needle in a haystack. It is truly a gem. And again, we don't really we've never done a video like this before on our channel. And again, because we've had so many calls about investments, and we've had insight into this project, for the last couple years, and we want to share it with all of you. And that's really why we do this channel, is to bring valuable information to you, because really the majority of the public does not know about this. Okay, so that's Centro. I am thoroughly impressed. I want to buy a home. Maybe I can get one of our kids to buy a home out here. I don't know, maybe some of you might want to buy 5. Who knows? But if you do want to come out for a tour, we are up for that, right? Bret will even drive to the north side to have this conversation.
That I will. And full disclaimer, it is my opinion that this is Houston's best rental real estate investment that I've seen in years. Call me and we'll talk about the specifics of that. We do have pitch decks, we do have numbers. But again, if you're looking to invest in Houston real estate and rent it out, this is it for you. I'm telling you right now, and it won't last long.
It will not. So if you'd like to come out, don't hesitate to reach out to us. All of our contact information is below. And as always, we can't wait to see you again here next week.
Later.